Students, hope you all are fine and healthy. Now today we will be revising your second chapter of the exam, that is Decline of Mughal Empire, chapter number 6. Now before starting the chapter, you need to recall where you have stopped in class 7. You have read about the greater Mughals, Babur, Akbar, Humayun, Jahangir, Aurangzeb in a chronological manner. Shah Jahan was also there. But after them, there were some significant changes that actually led to the decline of the Mughal Empire. Now today, we will be trying to discuss the causes. We have already completed the chapter way back. This is a revision class. Hope you have already studied. Now I think it will help you to revise it. Now first is role of Aurangzeb. Deccan policy, Rajput policy, religious policy. Now role of Aurangzeb was a very vital cause, or rather a vital perspective, an angle to study the decline of Mughal Empire. Now Aurangzeb kept himself busy in Deccan province, modern day southern part of India, to conquer the entire India. Keep it in your mind, it was Aurangzeb during whose time the empire of Mughal actually extended the most, nearly entire North India and a part of Western India also. Only the part left that he could not conquer altogether was the southern part. There were three prominent states, Ahmednagar, Golconda and Bijapur, along with a new king of the Marathas known as Shivaji. He was very busy for last 24 years of his reign, of his regime, to fight with these four opponents. He had captured these places many a time, but could not control it for long. Now this long absence from Delhi of Aurangzeb created a lot of changes in politics as well as in the socio-economy. Many revolts had taken place. Many provincial rulers have declared themselves independent. Since the king is not there in Delhi for long, they thought it's our time. On the other hand, he could not conquer the entire southern India also. Rajput policy. Now you have already studied in your last year that Akbar gave the Rajput a special position in the Mughal court. He not only married with the Rajput lady, Rajput queen, but he gave important Mansabdari post to the Rajputs, important military ranks to the Rajput, and the Rajput paid Akbar back with all the way. They fought from the front for the Mughal against the opponent. They have worked generously and minutely in the Mughal. But during Aurangzeb's time, Rajput policy had curved into decline. How? Aurangzeb intentionally take back the posts which were given to the Rajput. The higher ranks, the higher military posts, all were kept only for the Muslims, only for the Mughals. So this way, the Rajputs were the seeds of the Mughals at that point of time, Akbar and Jahangir also. But in Aurangzeb's time, they became rebellious. They started revolting, they started fighting against Aurangzeb. Now, Rajputs were very strong opponents. So, while fighting with the Rajputs, Aurangzeb lost his long time span, which he had lacked in administration, as well as the lack of resources. Coming into the religious policy. Here also you have studied during the time of Akbar that how Akbar maintained a peace in the society from the religious perspective. He introduced his new religion, Viii, which was an assimilation of all the religion present at that point of time in India. But from there, Aurangzeb came back and introduced a strict Muslim rule in India, in Mughal India. He brought back jizya, the religious tax which the non-Muslims had to pay only because the rulers are Muslims. That caused a huge agony, annoying attitude, agitation among the Hindu, not only the Hindu, all the non-Muslim sects of the Indian, Mughal India at that point of time. So the culmination of all three causes actually caused the decline of Mughal Empire. Now coming to the next one, War of Succession. War of Succession had taken place from the time of Shah Jahan also. Shah Jahan also fought with his brothers and became the king. The same thing was repeated when Aurangzeb became the king, the ruler. He killed his three other brothers. He put his own father Shah Jahan behind the prison and became the king. But as he was a strong king, no one could raise the voice against the ruler, and he ruled for a long time also. But after Aurangzeb, the followers, the next rulers of the Mughal Empire were not at all very good. They continued the war of succession. As soon as a king went into the power, the other one, the close opponent of him, actually started fighting with him. Either killed him or put him behind the bar and become king, declared himself the king. This procedure continued for long. This created a lack of administration in the empire. The provincial area started becoming independent. As there was no strong ruler, no strong administration, no one could resist them, no one could stop them. So this also was an important reason behind the decline of Mughal Empire. Next is weak successors. Just what I was telling, that after Aurangzeb, the rulers were not very efficient. War of succession led them rule for a very small span of time. At the same point of time, the very span of time they had ruled Mughal Empire, it was not very good because they were not very ruler. You need to be a far-sighted person to become a king of India, also a vast empire. They didn't have that much of administrative fluency. They didn't have that much of political or diplomatical far-sighting attitude or mentality, which caused the lack of administration, which eventually led to the decline of Mughal Empire. The last point of today's class is conflict within the nobilities. The presence of the nobilities in Mughal court was prevalent from very long time. There were four prominent nobility groups: Irani, Turani, Hindustani and the Afghans. Now these four groups, during the time till the time of Aurangzeb, was under the control of the ruler, because the rulers, the series of rulers who had ruled the Mughal Empire till Aurangzeb was very strong. So these nobilities could not raise their voice, could not become corrupt. But as soon as Aurangzeb died and these weak successors came into the throne, they became the kingmaker. The ruler who will accept all the demands, some are legitimate, some are very much corrupted, will remain in the throne. But as a king, if you don't accept the demands of the nobilities, they will simply throw you back from the throne. Why? Because they will then support the opponent candidate who is willing to become a king by overthrowing the existing one. They started supporting him. he had to accept the demands of these nobilities, because the king had established himself only by the help of these nobilities. Now, as soon as this king, the new one, could not or did not accept all the demands of the nobility took the same procedure of supporting the opponent and bring the new king in the throne. So this is how the nobilities became the kingmaker, and these conflicts actually hampered, damaged the smooth running of the Mughal administration and Mughal rule. Thus, these four causes were very important for the decline of Mughal Empire. This is it for tomorrow. Stay healthy, stay blessed, always wear mask, study in English, converse in English with your parents, with your siblings.